My name is Mike. I never believed in ghosts. I believed in budgets. When I found apartment 4B for $600 a month in the middle of the city, I didn't ask why. I didn't ask about the previous tenant. I just signed the papers. The building smelled of old wood and something else, something metallic, like a copper penny resting on your tongue. The landlord, a gaunt man named Mr. Henderson, avoided the wall shared with 4A. He moved quickly, his eyes darting to the shadows. "The walls are thick enough," he muttered. "Just don't go looking for trouble." I spent the first night on a mattress on the floor. The silence was heavy. It wasn't the absence of sound. It felt like the presence of something waiting. I closed my eyes, but the rain against the glass sounded like fingers tapping, trying to find a latch. By the third night, the humming started. It wasn't the heater. It wasn't the fridge. It was a vibration coming from the drywall right behind my head. It felt warm. If I pressed my palm against the white paint, I could feel a faint, wet thumping. Thump, thump, thump. I thought it was the neighbor, Mr. Graves. I'd never seen him. No one had. I'd knock on his door to complain, but the hallway was always freezing, and his door had no handle, just a solid slab of grey wood. One night, at exactly 3:14 a.m., the humming stopped. The silence that followed was worse. Then came the slurp, a wet, rhythmic sound, like someone dragging a soaked sponge across a rough surface. It was moving. It moved from the ceiling, down the corner, and stopped exactly behind the dresser where I kept my keys. I couldn't take it anymore. I pushed the dresser aside. The wood groaned, protesting. There, hidden behind the baseboard, was a patch of grey duct tape. It was covered in dust, but the edges were wet. Something was seeping from behind it. A dark, viscous liquid that looked like old oil but smelled like a slaughterhouse in July. I gripped the edge of the tape. My heart was slamming against my ribs so hard I thought they'd crack. I pulled. Ripe. The sound was sickeningly organic. Behind the tape wasn't a hole into an apartment. It was a jagged tear into a void. I took my phone, clicked the flashlight to its highest setting, and peered inside. The light didn't hit a wall. It hit skin. Pale, translucent skin stretched over a frame that wasn't human. It looked like a nest made of hair, teeth, and damp insulation. And in the center of the nest, something was twitching. I leaned closer. I shouldn't have. I pressed my eye to the hole, desperate to make sense of the carnage inside. Suddenly, a light flickered on the other side, not a flashlight. A biological glow. A massive, yellowed eye slid into the frame. It was the size of a dinner plate, covered in a network of pulsing black veins. It didn't blink. It didn't move. It just stared into my soul with a hunger that felt like a physical weight. Then the drywall began to breathe. The whole room started to expand and contract. The walls were no longer stone and wood. They were muscle and membrane. A hand, if you can call it that, slid through the hole. It was 3 feet long, with 7 joints and nails that looked like serrated glass. It reached for my throat. It didn't want to kill me. It wanted to pull me in. It wanted me to become part of the insulation, part of the collection. I don't remember running. I don't remember the police. They found 4A empty, completely empty. No furniture, no floorboards, just a hollow shell filled with thousands of pounds of human hair and old clothes. Mr. Graves never existed. The building was the organism, and I was just the next meal it was tenderizing. I live in a house now, all brick, no shared walls. But last night, while I was brushing my teeth, I looked down at the baseboard in the bathroom. There was a small grey square of tape I didn't put there, and from behind it, I heard a familiar, wet whisper. "Mike, the brick is so cold. Let me in. I miss the warmth of your heartbeat."